Back with another ladder race, this little coalition on coalition matchup. I can't remember if we put in the challenge or they put in the challenge, but another coalition group, higher level, but pretty close on the ladder. They're mostly amethyst racers. We're mostly platinum and gold racers. So we thought we'd have a little fun here. Uh, Probably the most uh, trash talk leading up to the event as I've seen. It was lots of fun, lots of chatter in Discord on this one back and forth. So we're just going into this one. I think when we were predicted on Ladder or the Zwift racing app, it pretty much they predicted that the other team would have the top five and we would have the bottom five. So we went in hoping for the best, hoping to put in a good matchup. A few things out of the way. Somehow, when I was loading up OBS Studio, getting everything set up, I had moved over the ladder sauce overlay. So we've got a big overlay right in the middle of the screen, kind of blocking out a lot of the road. It will be fixed. It's fixed, but I didn't want to try and fix it mid-race. I didn't notice on OBS Studio because it was on the second screen, and I didn't want to start trying to mess with that and then get caught out and be DFL because I was playing with OBS Studio instead of racing. So nothing really happening here. We're expecting a push on the climb. The climb banner is a little bit misleading. They put it so early, but then there's nothing there until you get several hundred meters into the climb. It's a very misleading climb. It's draggy. There are pitches that are steep and you can tack on, like the one coming up here where you turn right up onto the bridge. It gets steep there. But then you've got these downhills. So when you look at the climb on the map or sort of you see the stats, the gradient looks quite low, looks quite easy, but it is tricky because there are these pushes here. See, I've fallen back, 2 seconds to the front group, but able to get back on without too much of a challenge there. Everyone's good. We managed all to stay on. There's nothing too drastic on this one. We stay here. So Bryce goes out the front for a push. Everyone's coming up, going with him. We're having a little bit of some challenges on the back. Some people having some difficulty. Pete on our team, the other Pete, is having some challenges. He gets gapped by a few seconds, but we're not up front. We're trying not to push too hard. When we are on the front, we're trying to soft push just to make sure that we're not putting too much damage into him. But he's already got 8 seconds. And when you're a group of nine versus one off the back, that 8 seconds quickly becomes 13, 14. It's hard to keep it up. We're not trying to push here, but I know Cynoxum sees that and they want to push. One less rider to compete with for the finish. So he's back to 16. Nothing too drastic is going to happen now. We've got a long, draggy downhill, similar to the other side, but even less in terms of pitch. There's nowhere you can really let off the pedals. Bryce puts in a dig, try to get some separation, but we are able to get back on it quickly. No separation, no lasting separation here. We didn't know if someone was going to slingshot and go through. That's always the concern with one of those is that you catch up, you burn those matches to catch up, and then someone sits in your draft and pushes through. Now Zach goes out the front, and here Zach's pretty strong. He's got good power over long duration, so we don't push too hard. We to try to snap close that one and give someone else the opportunity to slingshot. We decide to let it go, let him cook off the front and see where that happens. Pete hasn't been losing too much time off the back since, as we're kind of soft pedaling here. Zach's got his gap off the front of 4 seconds, 5. It goes up a little bit, but nothing too big. So now we're up to 6, but it's all downhill and flat until we're going to roll up into the climb again. So right now we're pulling through to the front, but soft pulling and seeing if we can slow this down enough that Pete can come back a little bit. We're not trying to go hard, come up, block people off the front, and make sure that they're not pushing too hard either. Pete's still working hard, trying to come back. Nothing too, nothing too big happening through these middle points of the race. I think every time you race on this course, it's kind of the same thing. The action is always on the climb, and then maybe you might get a few attacks coming down and through the flats. So here we see Pete's coming up. He's under 10 seconds now, 8. And you see we keep coming through the front, slow pulling, blocking, slow pulling, blocking. He's getting down to 5 seconds here. But then Bryce goes off the front, or sorry, Daniel goes off the front and puts in a big dig, trying to bridge across to Zach up front. Now, leading up to the race, all the talk, well, I shouldn't say all the talk, a lot of the talk was between Dustin and Daniel. And Dustin really, really wanted to make sure that he got Daniel in this one, and that was his goal, as long as he beat Daniel. So that was what I took that upon my shoulders as well, and really wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to let that happen or let Daniel go too far up the front. So we're pulling up here, we're getting back up to Daniel. Daniel Riddle put in a big push to catch him. We're almost at they're up at with Zach now. And I'm back here with Nick and Dan Lewis. I don't want to do too much pulling here to close that gap. I'd like to close the gap, but I also don't want to have Dustin go off the back. Dustin's just 4 seconds. So I'm not going to go and pull these guys away from Dustin and get that gap bigger. So if I'm on the front, I'm going to make sure that they're not going to attack over the front of me, but also not wanting to push Dustin too far off the back. So it's Daniel and I here. Daniel doesn't even want to do much off the front now because now Nick's off the back. And so Dustin comes through. It's the 3 of us here with Nick up front. Dustin puts in a dig. I come up. What I'm trying to do here is just trying to be a pain in the butt and block Daniel and keep him from Dustin's wheel. And so with these new pack dynamics where people can't really push through you, there is a little bit of that option too to block. And the last race that I had on with OTR Swagger, I watched their stream. They wanted to have me in second wheel. When I think it's 2v1, I think the best thing is to have 2 people on the front. If you have 2 teammates, both be on the front, and then you can do the block. So here, trying to do something. Nick had caught up. I tried to put in a big dig and attack to get some gap. So I got Daniel and I are up at the front. It's Nick and Dustin off the back. Now, Daniel's a sprinter. I'm a sprinter. We've got 3K to go. There's 6 seconds off the back. I'm not trying to do too much of the work. Daniel doesn't seem to want to do much of the work. He'd like to bring Nick back. He'd like Nick to come back. So here they are. They're both back. I'm just slowing it down now for the final couple kilometers. Just where it's interesting now. It's 2v2. So this is a really fun situation. Pete's too far off the back. Zach's stuck in the middle between groups. We're not going to catch. So now it's a game of cat and mouse. Who wants to go? Does anyone want to go long? Are we all going into a sprint? My preference is to wait till 200 meters to go. Dustin goes up the road a little bit just to see if someone's going to follow him, but they're quick to follow him down. Knowing Daniel's tendencies, I think he's going to want to wait as well. Nick's doing a little bit off the front, but not too long. There's 700 meters to go. This is going down to a final sprint, and I've got the 2 of them in front of me. I sit up a little bit here to make sure I'm not going to the front too quickly, and then the draft to the final 300 meters. So here, Dan's going to be beat on power, but I'm able to draft and get by him. It was 0.02 seconds in the end, but I managed to beat Daniel, and that was the most important thing for Merclonia and especially for Dustin, who really wanted Daniel not to win. So we succeeded, although in the end they won the ladder race. We did a lot better than what we were expected and what we predicted. And it was fun. There was a lot of attacks throughout the course. Just interesting tactics. You get into some ladder races and it's very predictable. There are teams that'll choose a flat course, and everyone's together for the bunch sprint. This one was good. Like there's two versus two up at the front for the finish, for the top four places, and then like I said Zach in the middle, and then the four of us in the back. And unfortunately, Pete, who got caught out on the first climb and almost got back but didn't, he sort of rolled in later. But it was fun. A lot of chatter before, a lot of chatter after, during. Uh, the most fun ladder race I've had in a long time. Cool. See you guys on the next one.